What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo Leveling Arise video. It's your boy Payne. Happy Saturday, guys. Happy Saturday. This is pre-recorded on Friday, Saturday release. We are going to revisit stats again. This is very, very important. Now, before I talk about stats and why we're revisiting this, I do want to do a quick shout out, especially because the one we're going to be talking about is probably one of the most controversial stats in the game, and that is precision. So quick shout out to Burr, who is part of the testing team, his own team, part of my team, part of everyone's team. He's the one that came up with this formula and gave us all the data we need, plus the Korean players that he worked with. I believe he knows who they are. You guys know who they are. Shout out to you guys as well, too, for helping out, obviously. But this is going to be a pretty heavy topic to talk about because precision has been something that a lot of folks have either loved or not loved. I personally have never used precision to its max extent. I'm now at end game at this point of where we are. I'm seeing a lot more value in it. Early on, the value wasn't there as much. Content was a lot easier. Strength was able to carry it all. But we're going to talk all about precision, why it's important, why you should aim for it, and how to get the most out of it. Also, what to do in order to not sacrifice too much to get it. Okay, so first off, let's get that out of the way. Now, a couple things to note about precision. We're going to start off with gems because I think that's one of the most pivotal parts of getting precision the easiest way. So first off, the orange gems here allow you to get precision. All of your orange gems should be precision. Early on in the game when we played this, it was a combat power thing. Everybody was aiming for combat power. So precision will not give you the most combat power here, but it is the most critical of the gems in the orange. The most combat power you're going to get is going to be crit damage, but crit damage you can get a plenty, and we'll talk more about crit damage in a whole other video and how the formula works on that. Again, shout out to Burr and everybody else who was involved in that, including myself on that one actually. So we will talk more about that one in a different one, but for now, the best and most important thing you can do for your stats page is add as much precision to this as possible. As a matter of fact, all 8 pieces should be precision. As you guys can see here, my stats for precision is 8,240, and we'll talk more about how to get precision and what the best ways to do it and how it's calculated. Okay, we'll do all that afterwards. So first thing you want to do, guys, fill your oranges full of precision. That's the first thing you want to do. Well, again, we'll explain to you guys why, and we'll show you what the difference is when you are using precision versus not precision. Okay, second thing, another way to get yourself precision is going to be to dupe your weapons. All right, so you guys can see here at maximum A5 dupe. That's right, A5 is where it stops. You get yourself with an SSR weapon, 4,000 precision. If you go to an SR weapon, you're going to get 2,000 precision. With rare weapons, hell, I don't have any, but I really it's like 1,000, maybe 1,500. Who knows? Anyways, it's negligible. But you definitely want to get yourself as much A5s as possible for weapons you plan to use to boost that precision up. This is why whales and dolphins have an easier time, and how free-to-play global players like myself who have A5 weapons to make it worthwhile. Now, just a quick thing about anything past A5, you do not get any more precision. When you go past A5, you get a passive increase to all of your basic stats that includes HP, defense, and attack, and this will not show on the stats page. This is a passive that you see off the stats page. Okay, so very, very important to remember that. So precision does not increase any further past what you see here, which is the 4,000. Now with SJW, of course, he gets 2 of them, so you get a total 8,000, and you can simply check this by doing a very simple calculation here. If you go to weapons, 8,000 right there, right? If you go down to gems, you'll see precision over here as well too, 8240. And now if I were to, we're gonna do a test anyway, so I'm gonna reset my stats, right? I'm gonna go all the way to attack. This is what I've normally been running it, and you'll see what my precision is at without the extra precision stats in perception. We're gonna talk more about that very shortly. Here's how it's calculated, okay? 16,840. You might be like, Payne, that doesn't add up. Well, every single time you level up, you get yourself 90 more precision. Okay, so you're gonna see this in hunters. I'm gonna quickly show you guys that before I go any further. You guys can see, for example, Thomas, who is level 98, has a total of 21470. If you go to Alicia, who also has an A5 weapon and above, we already talked about this, her precision is a little bit lower, 21380. That is a difference of 90. Okay, now if I were to level her up, for example, she would actually be the same precision level as Thomas. So let's just, for the sake of doing it, I'll show you guys right now. There it is right there, this level. You guys can see the level actually doesn't show you getting precision, but if you go to the stats chart, it does in fact increase. 21470, right? If we go here now, 21470. All right, so when you level, whether it's SJW or hunters, your precision does go up. All right, important to note that that's where your difference in stats is coming from. Many people won't be able to catch that because they'll see attack, defense, and HP, and they think that's all that's being affected. Nope, everything else also goes up, precision being one of those things. All right, so just want to get that cleared. So let's do a little bit of a test. All right, we have ourselves 40,648 attack with exactly 88% precision. All right, so I'm going to go into a couple different things that you need to know. So shout out again to Burr for breaking this down for me. These are values that you need to know. So first thing that's important is that your level doesn't matter when it comes down to the precision percentage. Only the enemy's level matters. So let me just explain that real quick. What that means is your percentage here will dip based on the enemy's level, or will rise, or will remain the same. So for example, if you're fighting an enemy who's higher level than you, so for example, I'm level 98, I'm gonna go fight a POS 20 unit right now. Okay, so let's just go here. Actually, let's go back. Let's go to a instance dungeon and let's fight, I don't know, Kargalagagagagag again. Okay, you can see here, proof of strong level 20. When you fight him at level 20, he is going to be level 109. Because he is higher level than me, my precision automatically drops. It doesn't matter if I've hit the combat power requirement or not, my precision will drop because the enemy's level is higher. Okay, that's how that works. So when you fight an enemy who's lower, your precision number actually will go up. Okay, so keep that in mind. Very, very important to remember that. Okay, and this is why it's important to go as many precision gems in your orange slots for gems to boost your precision as much as you possibly can. Okay, now when it comes down to SJW, let me show you guys the numbers and how they speak when it comes down to having yourself 88% versus 99%. What you're gonna see. Well, now what does precision do, right? That's very important. So if you go to the stats page, precision explains to you what it does. And it's very important to understand this. Precision's job is to adjust the minimum amount of damage when attacking. So essentially what that is to allow you to do the maximum amount of damage almost every time with a very small margin of doing lower than that, okay? The bigger the gap between your precision and 99%, there's a bigger chance that you're gonna see the maximum damage not occur and a bigger gap between the damages when you do them. So let's jump in here and show you a quick example of how this works out in a battle with 88%, and then we'll go to 99% and show you guys the consistency of the damage when you're doing it without 88% versus 99%, okay? Give me a second. And the thing to remember, of course, is the mob is a higher level than me, so my precision will drop no matter what. Like, even though it does say 88.6%, my precision is going to be lower because, of course, the mob is a higher level. And again, what we said in the beginning, based on the discoveries that were found, it doesn't matter about my level, it matters the level of the mob. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and unselect all of this right here. I'm gonna take it all off just so there's no discrepancies with damage. We're gonna quickly put another skill on here just so there's, again, a single target skill that we can use that will just do a one attack and we're good to go kind of scenario. Okay, so let me just go here. We'll take this off, we'll put in this skill here, and you'll see with 88% versus 99%, the consistency in damage. We'll record a couple numbers for you guys. And the reason why precision matters so much is as you do heavier boss fights or longer battles, precision's minimum max damage, the fact that you can do max damage at a consistent rate is going to matter a lot more versus a bigger margin of damage. And right now with the way gems work and everything that they provided us to get precision, you're only sacrificing such a small amount of attack to maximize that damage, right? So this is the important part you have to remember. So 1012, okay? So again, we're right there. So let's jump in here. Here, we'll just do this. There's 666. Well, you know what? We'll do this one as the first one. 66685. 8% right now on the stat sheet, but it's actually lower because of the mob level. So 61289. We'll do one more and then I'll record them myself and come back to you guys with the numbers, okay? That way you're not having to watch me go through this whole thing. There we go. 59677. 59677. Yep, 596. So this is 88 precision. You can see already it's a pretty big difference between the three big numbers right there, right? 66, 61, 59. Like pretty fair, decent sized margins. Okay, now let's exit this. Let's exit this now and put on. We'll keep the same gear. We're just gonna switch to precision now at 99%. Let me go 125 like this. What does this put me at? There you go, 99%, 23k, okay? The rest we're gonna toss into strength. Or sorry, I guess 40k when I'm maxed out, but right now 27-ish, okay? So 27, but you guys can see now it is consistent at 99%, right? 23k, that's the number that I think Burr also recommended anyways. So let's go back in. Again, that number will be lower, but you'll see that more consistent damage will happen. It might not be as high-end damage because obviously our attack went down a slight bit, not very much, but we'll see more consistency in the actual precision portion of it. Okay, watch. 63149. Okay, so that's the first number of a comparison. Now this is a small sample size, but you can do this for hours and you'll see it's very consistent with 99%. That's the purpose of it, right? 63136, right? 62839, right? Again, much closer in numbers. 62839. So if you just do simple math here, right? If we do the simple math stuff here, so if we go 66685 plus 61289 plus 59677, 187651, right? 187651. Right, that's the number there versus what you get with just, this is only 3, but if you do a longer battle, you'll see a bigger difference. If you do 63149 plus 63136 plus 62839, you already got a better number there, right? Now, consider that throughout the entire 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, right? Whatever you were doing. And this is where it matters so much, because when you're doing this in GB or in POD where infinite health is a factor, or even WOBL when the fight is lasting 3-4 minutes, it adds up, and it adds up quickly. So it's very important to note that precision does in fact make a massive difference at this scale and at this level. All right, guys, so now probably the most important part you want to ask yourself. So what is the precision? What is the magic number for all the most important piece of content in the game? So I'm going to give you that number now. Now, remember, if you were to replicate this for 5 minutes, the numbers will look way bigger. And plus, remember, I don't even have artifacts on. I just have regular nonchalant gear with non-proper artifacts. So I don't have the proper curse set. I don't have a 4-piece expert. So if you were to run this for a full run here, I promise you precision will be way bigger. So test it yourself, give it a try. Now, there are magic numbers for each piece of content. So again, shout out to Burr for providing these numbers. I'm going to give you these numbers right now so you guys can also test this out to see how much more your damage does scale. So if you are going to be running POS 20, all right, so POS 20, I'm going to put this right here, POS 20, the number for precision is about 23,000. Okay, just go right with that number. 23,000 is the number. Okay, that's the magic number. Now, if you do something like Guild Boss instead, so let's just say you're focusing on Guild Boss, the number actually goes down. It goes to 16.4. So we'll say 16,400. Okay, so this is, again, these are the numbers that were the ones that impacted the most in terms of their effects. Okay, it's 23,000. I meant 2300. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, not 23,000, 2300. Okay, and then over here for POD, even requires less. POD only required 14.5k, so 14,500. All right, so there you guys go. Those are the magic numbers that you're looking at. So we're going to call these the magic numbers for now. And these are, again, based off of the current levels of the mobs. Now, these numbers will change, of course, as mob levels increase, so you'll have to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's very important. It's the mob levels that matter, not yours. So if you guys want to know how this all works, join the Discord. We have a testing channel. Burr actually has a fantastic chart that he's created here to kind of give you an explanation. So I'll put this right here. You guys can feel free to use this. This obviously means percentage for 100% CP. So just so everyone is aware in terms of how to read this, and we're all on the same page. So the x-axis down here is the combat power and recommended combat power. If I'm correct here, let me just make sure. Yeah, so team CP is the x-axis, y-axis is the precision, okay, your actual precision. So you can see the four different bars here. 70% precision based on your combat power here. You see how much it drops if you go below the 100% combat power. Same with this one is at 80%, this is a 90%, and this is 100%. So if you're at 100% and 100%, you're doing well. But if you're at 100% precision and you're not at 100% combat power, you're, let's say, at 95% combat power, you see how much of a drop you get here, right? You're not at 100% precision anymore. You're roughly about like 88% precision. So very important. Combat power plays a major role. Even in the red combat power now in this day and age, having high precision still makes a big difference, because again, you're maximizing the amount of damage you can put out by hitting that max damage more often than not. All right, guys, this is Payne. thank you so much to Burr and everybody else who put this together. I think this is so important now. Precision plays a bigger role than ever, especially with the new modes like Guild Boss, like the new like obviously like POD's been there forever, but new Guild Bosses and any upcoming WOBLs that last for a very long time obviously are going to make a big difference when your precision is higher than it is lower. So again, guys, follow this advice. You'll definitely improve your gameplay. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.